If I hear another person with super high self-belief tell me to just believe in myself a little bit more, I'm going to punch my own self in the face.
If someone has undying, ridiculous, internal, high self-belief, most likely the advice they're giving needs to be filtered through that awareness.
Next Level Nation, today for episode number 2164, I'm going to punch my own self in my own face based on what I said in the beginning. Alan sent me something the other day. He sent me, it was a clip of Kobe Bryant, and he was being interviewed. And again, Alan sends me fire content all the time, so it's not that. It's the context and what it means for us more than anything. And essentially, the guy said, where does doubt play into the whole thing for you? And Kobe Bryant could not answer it. He literally, he couldn't, all he should have said is, I don't have any doubt. I just show up and I know if I lose, I'll win eventually. I know if I'm bad, I'll be good eventually. And I know if I never stop, I could be the best. Just say that, Kobe. But it was abundantly clear this man does not know what it's like to have self-doubt. He does not know, at least in basketball, right? Other things, I don't know.
No, brother, I think it translated more than basketball too. R.I.P. to Kobe. And again, don't know the man, not friends with the man.
Just don't associate us with any people.
Ever. So I've studied his career because I go to certain careers for inspiration. For me, that's very inspiring, very motivating what he's been able to accomplish on the basketball court, but then also he won an Academy Award for storytelling. Dear Basketball is the name of it. And R.I.P. to Kobe. Okay. In studying him and the Mamba mentality, it's very obvious that he doesn't fully understand what it's like to doubt the long-term capabilities that he has. And I've been contemplating this a lot lately. What if, on some level, the people who do have undying self-belief, what if it is actually a calculation? So I don't have any self-belief whatsoever that I could be the strongest man on earth. 0%. And I'm saying that authentically, genuinely. Now, can I get stronger than I am? Absolutely. Can I get stronger than the average bear? Absolutely. But can I be the strongest man on earth? The answer is absolutely not.
You mean the average human, not the average bear, right?
Obviously.
Just want to make, not necessarily. That's it. Shout out to Amy on the team. That's Amy's thing. That your typical bear. We're talking about human beings here. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Thank you for that.
Because you're not going to get stronger than the average bear, son.
No. That I meant humans.
I know that now.
So in this metaphor, I contemplated this years ago. What if people do believe in themselves, not the right amount, but closer to what they should? I'll give you an example. Growing up, I would be in math class, and I would be really smarter than everyone else in the math class. And I didn't even really have to try that hard. So for me, my brain probably went, oh, you're good at math, so you should believe in yourself more. It wasn't conscious. None of this was conscious. And then in athletics, on the track field, I was this prepubescent little fucking loser, quite frankly. And I would see, you remember, you'll know, I'll use first names only, but you know who I'm talking about. Alex?
Yes.
Really good at track.
The best.
I mean, this dude, the best.
Yeah.
Just an animal. I could not do what this good dude could do, and it didn't seem like he had to try that hard. I do think that it's very important to understand that self-belief might actually be more tied to your unconscious competency and your genetics than I ever thought. And when you listen to a Kobe Bryant, it can be very motivating and inspiring, but be very careful of how educating it actually is, because if he wasn't 6'7" and play basketball since he was 7 and have his dad was in the NBA, then there's no way he would have been the best basketball player of all time. There's a lot of stars that have to align for you to be the best in the world at something. And I think it's very inspiring and motivating to learn from the best, but it also needs to be filtered.
I think that is one of the best thoughts ever, is if it's super inspirational and motivational, it's probably not educational at all.
Which is why I'm so boring.
It's a blanket statement. But I could drop some fire one-liners that are fucking useless. It's not going to do anything for you.
This is fun.
Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you're amongst the stars. No, you're fucking dead. You're dead. If you miss the moon, you just keep going.
Give me a couple
And the
more.
stars are bad. It'll all work out. You're exactly where you're supposed to be at the right time or where you're meant to be. Like all of that it's just justification for circumstances.
Yeah.
That's all. Am I right? There's two ways to do it. I say all the time, I don't think I should be more successful than I am. You could flip that and say, well, Kev, then you're essentially saying you are where you're supposed to be. No, I'm saying I am where I am based on my effort.
And your choices and
everything.
Yeah.
My lack of knowledge, my lack of
36 years of compounded choices and circumstances.
But not, well, we didn't get that client because we weren't supposed to. No, we didn't get the client because I didn't say the right shit.
Or they didn't send a good email.
Or they weren't ready, but it's not.
Or it was the wrong price. Yeah.
There's something, right? There has to be something. The reason I like this type of episode is because Alan and I are very different when it comes to this, and Alan has insane self-belief, and I have more self-belief than I ever have, but I did not start that way.
Can we talk about what is different with self-belief than without it? You've lived both.
I think it's two things. It's one, your ability to pick a shot and then take it, paired up with your ability to pick yourself up after that shot doesn't work. And then that just reinforces it forever. I imagine, you probably have imagined this a million times. This is relatively new for me. But I imagine how challenging it must be to go play a sport or perform anything in front of like 50,000 people. I just imagine how much pressure that must be. Then I imagine how much pressure it must be to be the person who has the last shot or the guitar solo or the keynote speaker for that. And then the last piece I think of is when it goes horribly wrong, how much belief you have to have and how much pressure there must be for you to go do that again. I think most people only think about how much you must have to get there in the first place. But I think that's the difference between somebody who gets there and then somebody who stays there and then somebody who's remembered there is how much self-belief they have. I really do. So one, it creates the vision and the ability to choose a shot and say, you know what, I'm going to try this and see what happens. And then number two, I think it's the reason you pick yourself back up after it goes horribly wrong. If it does, then you have that as a lesson and then you can continue, then you can take a better shot next time, essentially.
One of our, Matt, shout out to Matt, he crushed his first bodybuilding competition. Won his class and his overall, absolutely killed it. Everyone else was super pumped for him, and I was pumped for him too, but I had a different perspective. I said, brother, that means you should have been doing this years ago. You're not supposed to win your first one. You know, that to me, you overcooked the turkey. Like, you should have been doing this years ago. Of course, but that, you're
what if it was his only one,
game.
Though? Yeah, but
well, then he did a great job.
Yeah.
If it's his only one, then he did a great job, but that's also silly, kind of. It depends how you look at it, right?
I understand.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes. So if you want to be a bodybuilder and have that be your career, then you definitely fucking waited too long.
Right.
Okay. Right. If you just want to do a one-off and see if you can do it for self-belief, that's wonderful. Then you did exactly what you should have done. Strong fucking work. But back when I was doing fitness shows, I thought I'd do competitions through my 30s and all that kind of stuff. I've obviously pivoted business, all stuff. As I started to learn my strength zone, I started to realize my brain was of far more value than my body. And as much as that pisses me off, because
what was that like? What was it like? I remember you and I had a conversation, and we had it was a very real conversation. It was like, dude, you're never going to do another fitness show again. There's no way. There's no, maybe later in life, but there's no fucking way we're going to be able to build this business and do an episode every day and you do a fitness show. What was that like, letting that go?
Makes me so sad.
Still?
Oh yeah, I could cry.
You think about it often?
All the time. Every day.
I don't.
So here's the thing. I can't
that.
stand the fact that I only get one life. If it was up to me, I would have been a professional snowboarder. and I would have been a fitness model, and I would have been the top men's physique fitness athlete on the planet, natural. And so I've had to, this pisses me off to no end, to be completely honest. Like, this bothers me every single day. Like, I want to be the best father I can be. I want to be the best partner I can be. I want to be the best business owner I can be. I want to be the best coach, trainer, and podcast I can be. I had the amount of dreams that I have. One of the things that bothers me, so you had an opposite issue, and this is going to be very outing for me. I appreciate you, man. Okay. Yep. Back in the day, you were concerned that you wouldn't be able to do much. That was your concern. For me, I was like, how the fuck do I choose? How the fuck do I choose? The whole world is my oyster. I could do anything within reason. And this is the pros and cons conversation. If you have a lot of self-belief and it's grounded and it's real, there's very little, given a couple decades, that I don't believe I could do if I really wanted to. I feel like I could be the top 1% in many things. Give me some decades. I'm talking not just fucking overnight, okay? And the same amount of focus you've put into this of like, getting rid of everything. Yeah. So getting rid of everything else. Yeah. If Alan decided tomorrow I'm going to be the best marathoner, this podcast goes away. It's completely. We don't do this anymore. I really do believe I could do that for my age group. But I'd have to can almost everything else. Right. That bothers me every fucking day, because I don't want to just be a fucking business coach. I'm posting fitness content. It drives you nuts. I don't care. I love fitness. I'm not going to be a fucking fitness model again, but I can't fucking stand the fact that I have to pigeonhole myself into one thing. It drives me nuts. And you kind of do if you want to be the best in the world at something. You're not going to be an Olympic. I'll share this. Michael Phelps was an Olympic, the best Olympian in history, arguably. Not even arguably. 28 medals, 23 gold. Now, swimming is the only sport you can do that. It's not like you can be the best sprinter and the best marathoner. Those are two. Whereas with swimming, there's the butterfly. I don't think a lot of people reverse engineered Michael Phelps' career. I've studied his entire career. You can't have 23 gold medals in fucking discus. Right. And people don't realize that's not really fair necessarily, because all you have to do is get really, really, really good at swimming. And again, I'm not taking anything from Michael Phelps. Shout out to you, man. Holy shit. What you've done is unbelievable. But it's not like you can do that in any other sport other than swimming. And I don't think a lot of people have maybe engineered that in their head. You've seen me swim? One time, yeah. Almost died. Yeah. You literally said, you're like, that was dangerous. Brother, I never once thought that was dangerous at all. Those weeds wanted me. They wanted a chunky treat. I would have saved you, I promise. I appreciate it, but I probably wouldn't even let you know I was suffering. You'd been like, dude, are you good? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Just treading water. Okay. The reason I wanted to do this episode is because that is better than any... If you resonate more with Alan there's just not enough time to do all the things that I feel like I can do, you probably have really high self-belief. And good for you. And there are downsides with everything, right? You have to focus. If that does resonate, you have to hone, unfortunately. Otherwise, you will massively leave opportunity on the table. On my end, to Alan's point, it was very much, I don't think I'm going to be good at anything. I'm going to find the one thing that maybe I'm naturally good at, and I'm going to go all in with Alan's help on that. And that's why no matter what, it'll be in podcasting. No matter what, it'll be in speaking. No matter what, it'll be in content creation. Outside of that, I'm okay at snowboarding. I'm okay at baseball. I'm okay at basketball. I'm okay at a lot of things. I can do a front flip dive in the pool, pretty athletic, double backflips on the trampoline. Nice. But not enough to move the needle towards mastery on that. Figure out which side you resonate with the most, and that is a really good indicator on where you're starting from. Maybe some of you have more self-belief than you think. Maybe some of you have less and you've never been willing to admit it. Or you have more and you've never been willing to admit it. The reason I wanted to do a part 2 is because I wanted to dive into like the human aspect of it. Wrap this with a bow because you have to go. There's a theoretical, scientific, mathematical concept called multidisciplinary optimization, which means trying to get world-class at several things simultaneously. One of the things that's so hard about this is that every skill has a bunch of sub-skills. So effective communication, there's 25 things, in my opinion, you have to get really good at underneath that one skill. So it's skills, sub-skills, and then sub-skills, and then there's meta skills. It's a whole fucking thing. What I would share is that being the best communicator in the world is a full-time job, and you're not going to be able to do that and win Olympic gold medals on the side. It's just not a thing. So what you can do is try to hone, and I do this all the time with clarity sessions. I did this recently. Shout out to Keegan. There's a circle, there's a triangle with 3 subjects, there's one word in the center, and then there's the 3 vehicles. So wrap this in a bow. Here we go. I, Alan Lazaros, help people reach their potential in fitness, personal development, and business through the vehicles of coaching, training, and podcasting. Everything outside of that lane, I've decided in advance to let go of. Clarity is everything. When you have clarity, you will be very, very, very successful over time if you stick with it and build.
Simplest bow for me, if you have low self-belief, set a goal that is just outside of your current self-belief. Doesn't have to be big. It shouldn't be massive. I don't think it should really scare you that much. It shouldn't scare you to the point of not doing it. If you're on the other end and you have really high self-belief, go fucking fail, because you'll get up better and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That is a very awesome ability and or privilege to have. Last thing, each side comes with downsides. So make sure you get familiar with the upsides as well as you do the downsides. All right, cool. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow, because we are going to be here every single day trying to help you get there.
Keep reaching for your full potential. Next Level Nation.